Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I have a different sort of video talking about some of my goals and my hopes for the channel and for my reading this year in 2024, now that we are officially in the new year. Just wanted to take a little bit to talk about some things that I hope to do this year, both in terms of my own personal reading as well as some goals I have for the channel and things like that. So first I'm going to talk about some channel goals, which I don't have a ton of, to me, this is not as important as my reading goals, because, the channel, I just kind of do my thing. I try not to think too much about, like, future goals and things like that, because the way I think of it is just, I just will do what I want to do, and whatever happens, happens. That's just kind of how I've always approached doing YouTube. Granted, I'm sure if I wanted to really grow the channel, I should try to appeal more to algorithms and things like that, but I'm not too concerned about anything like that. I just do this because I like doing it. But I do have some goals that I would like to do. First of all, I'd like to see the continued growth of the channel. This year, or last year, in 2023, the channel grew quite a bit, from 50 subscribers at the end of 2022 to over 250 subscribers at the end of 2023. So I am hoping to continue seeing that sort of growth in 2024. I usually will try not to hold myself to specific numbers because, like I just said, I just kind of do my thing and whatever happens, happens. My kind of wish for the end of the year, that I think is attainable, is 400 subscribers. Based on the sort of growth that I've had on the channel, I think that is absolutely doable if things continue the way they have been. Granted, I could get a drop off in subscriber numbers, I could see a big increase, but I think at the rate that I'm going, I could definitely hit 400. If I were going for a slightly loftier goal, I'm thinking maybe 500. That would be a little bit more ambitious based on the, the way the channel has grown even in 2023. It would be a little bit more growth than that. But 400 or 500 subscribers is kind of where, if things are consistent, is about where I expect to be at the end of this year. But again, if I'm not, then whatever. As long as the channel's growing, I'm happy with it, and all that stuff. I hope to continue to be consistent with my uploads. This year, for most, if not all of this year, I have consistently been able to do 2 videos a week on Mondays and Fridays. I hope to continue that, hopefully. That has gotten a little difficult at some points and gotten very easy at some points, because there were some times where I was able to be a month and a half in advance on videos, and then there were other times where it would be like Wednesday and I wouldn't have a video for Friday. So it kind of depends how things go. If I miss a video here and there, I'm not able to get one out quite on time, I'm not going to worry too much about it, but I would like to try to stay consistent, 2 videos a week. At least I may throw in an extra video here and there, maybe, depending on how things go. But I want to stay at least 2 videos a week, stay pretty consistent with that. In terms of videos, I also would like to vary the types of videos I do a little more. I feel like I really loaded up this year with reviews, which makes sense, because if I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week, that's kind of what I have to do. I'm reading, 5-ish or a little more books per month, and the way that works out, that is pretty much just enough for me to be able to consistently read about as many books as I'm reviewing, or review as many books as I'm reading, however way you want to look at that, I guess. I still want to do a lot of reviews, obviously, but I'd also like to do some other types of videos, because now I'm getting to the point where I have read enough books within series or things like that, where I can start doing other types of videos about those books. The main reason I didn't do that super heavily this past year is because I hadn't really gotten to that point yet, so I couldn't really do things like rankings of books, or different topic-based videos about certain series or things like that. And I'd like to do some more of that kind of thing this year, to just kind of vary up what I'm doing on the channel. I did do a little bit of that this last year with some videos about me talking about 5 reasons I love certain series, where I did one for Star Wars The High Republic and one for the Cosmere. I've done some ranking videos, things like that, so I'd like to do some more videos in that vein, I still will definitely be doing a lot of reviews. I want to review basically every book that I read, so there will still be plenty of that, but I also want to vary things up on the channel a little more, just to keep things interesting. Another goal that I have for the channel is something that I don't know if I will do because it's not something that I am very consistent with, but that is being a little bit more active within the community that is BookTube. I tend to, this is the way I've been for a very long time, basically, but I tend to not comment on a lot of people's videos in general. There are a couple of channels that I will comment on here and there, but I don't typically get too involved in the social media aspect of YouTube, because even though YouTube is very much an entertainment website, I think it is also, perhaps not equally, but also significant portion of it is also social media in a way, with the commenting and the liking and things like that. And so I want to get a little more involved with that, also get more involved on other social media platforms. I have a Twitter and an Instagram that I use that you can go follow if you'd like. I don't really do a whole lot with my Instagram. I basically just post reviews of books as I read them, written reviews, things like that. And I'd like to get maybe a little more involved with that, post some different types of things on there, and maybe get a little more interactive with the larger community on there. Twitter I'm a little bit more active on, I would say, do a little more of different things on. Even on YouTube, I'd like to actually start interacting more with some of these other booktubers that I love, and trying to build a little bit more of a relationship with some other people. Because there's a couple of people that I already do talk to, but not very many at all. I would like to kind of get more involved in the social aspect of this community. My last three goals are things that might happen, but I don't know for sure. So the things that I'd like to do, but I don't know if they will. First is live streams. I'd like to do some more live streams. I did do a gaming live stream playing Hogwarts Legacy that sometime, I want to say last summer or something like that, which a few of my friends came to, which was very nice. I would like to do some more live streams. I don't know if I will be able to, because at the moment I don't really, as it is, I basically only have so much time to record these videos, so I don't know if I would be able to dedicate a lot of time to live streaming either, but you know, that would be a cool thing to do if I'm able to. I would like to get more into that, maybe. I also would like to do some themed months with book reviews, so reviewing different types of books during different months. For example, one thing that I'm thinking about maybe doing in February, if I can, is more romance-leaning books in February. I already like to do horror month in October, things like that. Again, that kind of depends on what books I'm able to get my hands on and read, but that's stuff that I would like to do. And finally, I'd like to have an actual, like, nice setup for doing videos. Right now, I basically just have me in front of the camera with this blank wall behind me. I would like to eventually have an actual space to do videos with bookshelves and all the usual booktube things, but I don't have that at the moment, unfortunately. So maybe someday. It depends definitely on my living situation and what I'm able to do with that, because right now we don't have space for an actual studio type area. Maybe someday. It probably won't be this year, but who knows. That's something that I'd like to do someday. And if I can do it this year, that would be great. But if I can't, then whatever. Now we have some reading goals to go through, which I have quite a few of. And again, I may not get to all of these, obviously. There's a lot of stuff here that I want to do. There's a high chance that I will not get to all of it, for sure. But they are things that I would like to do. As far as some things that I definitely do intend to do, first of all, I want to focus more on rereads this year. I didn't really do many rereads in 2023. The way that I think of this is I started doing this channel partially as a way to catalog my journey with getting into books, but I started it about a year and a half after I got back into reading. And so I want to go back and reread some of the books that I read before I started the channel, and so that way I have reviews for them, and also because there's some books I just want to reread. For example, I really want to reread the Mistborn trilogy. I want to reread some Star Wars books, things like that, and I think that would be a lot of fun. I also would like to read some more new releases, because in 2023 I read one, which was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I would like to get some more new releases in 2024. I don't know how many that will be, because there's so much other older stuff that I want to read and stuff that I still need to catch up on. But I would like to get to some more new releases. I am hoping that I can get the 5th Stormlight Archive book when that comes out in December. So my plan is at least one new release in this year. So we'll see. I also want to get caught up or finished with some series. I want to get caught up on the Cosmere. I am almost there. I am waiting for Lost Metal to come out in paperback, in mass market paperback, which I believe is in October, is the current tentative date for that. So I will be waiting to get that until then. But in the meantime, I would like to also read the other two Cosmere Secret projects. And then I will be caught up on the Cosmere in time for the next Stormlight book. So that is definitely something that I intend to do this year. I also intend to finish the Star Wars New Jedi Order series. I do not currently own the last book at time of recording this, but I just need that last book. So if I can get my hands on that, I will finish the series within the first year, within the first half of the year. Probably even sooner than that, hopefully. So really hoping I can get that last book and get New Jedi Order finished up. I also want to finish The Witcher, which I also might reread because I don't remember the first few books all that well. Granted, I didn't love the first few books of the main series. I really enjoyed the short story collections, but not so much the main series. So I might reread those. I haven't decided yet. But either way, I want to finish that series because now I own all the books. And I think, you know, it's a series that I want to have under my belt. I also would like to get caught up on the Star Wars The High Republic series, which I'm way behind on. The last book I read in the series was Convergence, which came out over a year ago now. And there's 3 books since then in the adult and YA lines anyway that I have not read yet. So I'd like to get caught up on that series. And I'd also like to continue some series. I'd like to continue Wheel of Time. I kind of put down the series over the summer. I decided to kind of take a break. So I'd like to maybe get back into that this year. I'd like to get into some more Malazan books. I read the first one and really enjoyed it, so I'd like to get some more of those. I'd like to read some more Discworld books. Obviously, lots of more Star Wars books, because that's kind of one of the main things on this channel is Star Wars books, and it's one of the things I'm most interested in, so I want to read more of those in general. Lots of stuff that I want to read more of this year for sure. There are some authors that I have started reading that I would like to continue that, you know, are not necessarily series that I have already started, but some authors that I, you know, have read a book or two by that I'd like to continue, like Dan Wells and Stephen King, John Gwynne, stuff like that. I want to read a lot of their books. So I want to get into some other authors. I'd like to explore more genres. You know, the channel mainly focuses on Star Wars books and some other media tie-in here and there, which I also would like to read more of. I'd like to read more Assassin's Creed books, some more Marvel prose books, things like that, some other ones for sure. Maybe even some that I'm not super familiar with the original material, like Warcraft, I'm interested in. Also, I really want to read the Mass Effect books, all that kind of thing. You know, I focus a lot on media tie-in and fantasy with the occasional sci-fi or horror or things like that, but I'd like to get into some other genres. I'd like to maybe dip my toes a little bit into some fantasy-leaning, romance-leaning books, probably starting with fantasy romance. So I'm thinking something like Court of Thorns and Roses or Throne of Glass or something like that. You know, because those are very popular and I kind of want to see what's up with that. So we'll see about that, but I'd also like to get into some more horror books, might get into some more actual sci-fi books, because there's not a lot of like actual sci-fi outside of Star Wars, which I would argue isn't even really sci-fi. I would say it's more fantasy in a sci-fi setting. You know, I want to read some more sci-fi. I really want to read The Expanse, for example, so maybe that'll happen this year. I might start that. Lots of other ones as well. Just a lot of genres, a lot of series that I want to get into. I'd also really like to read some more lesser known and self-published books. That is a big one that I wanted to do so badly last year, but I just never got around to it. There's a lot of those that I really want to read. For example, one thing that I already can do is read some Will White books, because I have a bunch of his books on Kindle because they were free at one point last year and I grabbed a whole bunch of them. And that is something that I actually do plan to start very, very soon. I want to read some of his books. I also would really like to read the Tide Child trilogy, which I have heard so many great things about, especially from Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews, who loves those books, and I think Johan from Library of the Viking has also talked those books up quite a bit. Threadlight by Zach Argyle, I'd like to read those as well. There's the one book that I can't remember the name of by Kyan Ardalan or something like that. That was kind of Dark Souls inspired. 11th Cycle, that's it. I'd like to read that. There's a lot of other ones as well, just lesser known fantasy books or ones that are self-published or things like that. I'd like to get into some more of those. Bound and the Broken is another big one that has been getting really popular with a lot of booktubers like Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews and Mike's Book Reviews and a lot of other ones who really like those books, and I really want to read them. So lots of other self-pub and lesser-known books that I want to get into this year as well. And I think that pretty much wraps up a lot of my reading goals. As far as specific numbers of books, I want to stay somewhere in the ballpark of the last couple of years, which the last couple of years have been around 60, 55 to 65 books, somewhere in there. So I'm going to kind of aim for 50, 60 books. I think that's a pretty manageable goal. So that's kind of what I'm going to be aiming for this year as well. And also, like I said, plenty of rereads and things like that. I don't know how many rereads I'm going to do. I might try to do like at least one per month is what I'm thinking. So that way they're not super frequent, but they're also consistent. So I might do, one, maybe two a month, something like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I had to talk about. So quite a few different goals for this year. Obviously, once again, probably not going to hit all of them. I'd be surprised if I even managed to hit like half of these, because there were some goals that I had set for 2023, and there was plenty of them that I did not meet, unfortunately. But these are what I'm kind of hoping for, and if I can do some of them, then I'll be happy. These are just kind of ideas of things that I would like to do this year. That's pretty much it for this video. So let me know in the comments what you think of these goals. If you have any other things that you think would be interesting as far as some stuff that you'd like me to read, or types of videos you'd like to see on the channel, or anything like that, let me know in the comments. I always welcome some extra ideas from all of you to see what you all are interested in and that kind of thing. So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas or recommendations or anything like that. So that is pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.